Yes, you guys, how you all doing? I know that you guys are still feeling very happy, very excited. Tonight was a big win. The team pulled through, Lampard's tactics were on point, and against all odds, we got the win against Man City tonight. Today's video, I'm here to give you guys the player ratings. I'm going to go through each and every single one of our guys, scoring them from 1 to 10. I hope you guys enjoy, and if you do, smash that like button. Smash that like button if you're still happy after that big win tonight. I want to get over 2,500 likes, so without wasting any more time, we start with the first player on this lineup, and that's Olivier Giroud. Now for me, Giroud had a very important tactical role to play today. It wasn't necessarily about him having to take the glory. Tonight, Lampard played Giroud because the game plan was to take out the Man City defence. Now Giroud did this by occupying himself in between them, and by doing this by withdrawing, by having the defence follow him. It allowed space in behind for the midfield runners in your Ross Barkleys and your Mason Mounts to stretch Man City from behind, and then allow your Pulisic'S and Willian to create those overloads and get inside the box too. So the tactics worked very well. Giroud had to work very hard today. He had to fight very hard too. That was the main game plan today. That was all Giroud had to do. He did that very well, and I'm going to give him a score of 7 out of 10. We now move on to the right hand side, starting with Willian, and for me, I thought this was another classic Willian performance for how well he's been playing throughout this entire season. Now, Willian will forever be scapegoated. Willian forever have his name tarnished. Listen, I've critiqued him countless times of previous seasons, but this season in particular should be different because he hasn't played bad. Today, Willian got the goal. He scored the penalty, which basically sealed the game. He created the move by himself. Incredible acceleration. I mean, De Bruyne couldn't stay close to him whatsoever. And throughout the entire game, Willian was tracking back. He was working hard for the team. He was providing himself as an outlet. He was helping to progress the ball in the counter-attacks too. We have to stop judging this guy by stats alone. It's not fair, it's not right, and it's not what the player is fully about. So for today's game, you guys, Willian is going to score an 8 out of 10. We now move on to Christian Pulisic, and I'm not going to call him Captain America. That is a tired cliche that everyone uses every single time. Today, though, he did play like a leader. I liked how involved he was in the game today. I was particularly impressed by his defensive application. This was a game tonight that Christian couldn't just show off his skills and his dribbling ability. He had to work for the team. He had to fight for the team. He had to come back and support Marcos Alonso, which he did very well. And on top of that, he had to provide that counter-attacking platform too. It was quite obvious that Lampard did have a game plan with Christian Pulisic in mind. I mean, that goal he scored for the first one, the acceleration, the close control, all these things synonymous with Christian Pulisic. And, for me, I love to give him higher. If he had scored the second goal, of course he would. I mean, that's just natural in player ratings. Very unlucky. Oh, if only you put in just like that tiny bit of power, that ball's going in the back of the net. But however, you guys, Christian provided the outlet, provided that threat. And for the first time in a while, since Eden Hazard, have we had that attacking winger really just taking the game to the opposition and making things happen. This is 8 goals in his first season in the Premier League. I think he's had a very productive year this season. He's had some hardships, he's had to learn a lot, but the most important thing is he has overcome them. And I'm excited to see his development. I think that he can add even more to his game. I think we're going to see that as time does progress. I like to see how he works on his hold-up play. That's something that he'll definitely get better at though. And it's been quite evident this entire season that if you give Christian a challenge, he is going to prove you wrong and he's going to get himself back in that team. So for a score today, you guys, I'm going to give Christian an 8.5 out of 10. We now move on to the midfield 3, starting with Mason Mount down the left-hand side. And, this was another game where Mount performed the tactics incredibly well. Now, of course, at times, some of his decision-making was not perfect. In particular, there was an effort where he had the chance to make it 2-0 at the time. He didn't take his opportunity too well. He kind of just lashed out with his left foot a bit too quick without that classic composure. And that was obviously a bit disappointing to see because this was a big moment. However, Mason worked so diligently, so hard. He got tight to markers. He got tight to runners. He fought. And on top of that, he used his pace in behind to create the counter-attacking platform. I've seen enough in this guy's performances that as he gets older, as seasons progress, as he keeps fine-tuning his game and just working on his craft and getting better and better, I think he's going to be a serious midfield player for this club. His defensive game was on point, and I'm sure that offensively, Mason Mount would be slightly disappointed. Slightly. So overall, I'm going to give him a score of 7 out of 10. Now, moving on to Mount's partner beside him, and that was Ross Barkley. Now, I have to say, I was impressed with Barkley today. I was paying attention to how he was receiving passes. He received them very well. His body possession was open. It was positive. I like that he was quick with the ball. I like that defensively too. He did work hard. He closed runners down, he covered spaces, and he helped provide that counter-attacking platform with his intelligent runs in behind. This has been Barkley's best run of form since he signed for this club. Great performances against Everton, Liverpool, Villa, and now against Man City too. This was a game where a lot of these attacking guys couldn't necessarily show off their attacking arsenal to its fullest. So Barkley came in, he fought very well for the team, and he helped provide a bit of a platform too. Naturally, he did tire as the game went on, and at times he wasn't making his normal tackles, but that's natural. He worked his socks off. For those reasons, I'm going to give Ross Barkley a 7 out of 10. And to complete our midfield 3, I have Kanté as our DM. Now, Kanté, for me, helped the team defensively, and you're going to keep hearing me mention the defensive part of the game today, because naturally we played defensively. We used a low to mid block. We were looking to play on the counter attack today, you guys. So defensive efforts are going to count to players' scores today. Kanté, of course, offensively, I'll get the small negatives out the way first. At times, some of his passes weren't finding the men. Is this systematic of the player not being suited to this new role? Of course not. All it is that Man City are one of the best teams at playing this style of football in the world, and at times, players are going to lose possession of the ball in their own half, etc, etc. Now, I thought that Kanté made some very good tactical fouls. It was very unfortunate in that sense that De Bruyne scored one of the best free kicks of the season from a Kanté foul, but he helped give us that platform. He was covering and shadowing players too. He was providing that extra defensive support in all areas across the field. I know that it doesn't sound like a lot because, in the highlight clips, it's not going to look amazing. But these are the qualities you need. This is the level of application that you need to be a football club that wins. You can't just win beautifully every single time. You need players that are going to fight, work, and put that shift in. Kanté gave us that platform, and I'm sorry you guys, if this was a Jorginho or Kova playing in that role, there's no way we would have had that same defensive protection. So for today's game, Kanté is going to score a 7 out of 10. We now move on to the back four, starting with Marcos Alonso at left back. Now, I thought Alonso stuck very diligently to Mahrez. Mahrez is one of the best attacking players in the league, so naturally there were going to be times where he did evade Alonso and get past him. However, Alonso's confidence was not affected. He still stuck at his job. He was providing that platform. He was making those cross-field passes when he had to. And at times, he was also giving away possession, but it was that type of game. I thought that he stuck in. He worked hard. For those reasons, I'm going to score Marcos Alonso a 6.5 out of 10. And that's because, in particular, he was playing some great long passes from deep in the second half. We now move on to our central defence, and I'm going to score them together because, for me, I thought they were excellent throughout the entire game. Rudiger and Christensen, by far their best performance playing for us together. They won every aerial ball. Their positioning was on point. They were intercepting and closing down passing lanes and channels and supporting their teammates out wide too. From set pieces, they were there getting their body on the line, winning those important duels too. And on top of that, they provided that extra ability of composure out from the back, playing accurate passes, helping progress the ball from deep, giving us that extra layer of protection, you guys. I was thoroughly impressed with both players. By far, their best performances this season. I'm going to score both Rudiger and Christensen an 8.5 out of 10. And to complete the back four, we move on to Azpilicueta. And for me, this was another classic Azpi performance. He was playing in both boxes, both halves. He was getting in tight. Sterling couldn't do anything against him. He was getting tight to Sterling. He was frustrating him throughout the entire game. Him and everyone else during that crazy 10 to 15 minute period where Man City were really applying the pressure. Well, yeah, everyone kind of struggled at times. That's what happens in a team game. However, they all came through it. And I thought Azpi was very important in the second half again, just as he was against Aston Villa. Today, I'm going to give Azpilicueta a 7 out of 10. And to complete the first team, we move on to Kepa in goal. And this was a pretty typical game of Kepa. Making some great saves certain times and then making these silly errors where his kicks from the back, his passing from deep just wasn't as accurate, wasn't enough weight behind them, kicking balls out of play too, and just creating even more pressure at the back. when I see teams like City and Liverpool, they have Edison, who was playing some amazing passes from his area. I feel like this is why we signed Kepa for those reasons. So when he's not fulfilling his passing game, I do get a bit frustrated. However, when it comes to acrobatics, this guy is up there. He made some great point-blank saves. He was very good, very acrobatic. And I think overall, when you weigh the good and the bad, this was another decent performance. So for that reason, I'm going to score Kepa a 6.5 out of 10. And to end tonight's video, I'm going to score our manager in Frank Lampard. Now, I'm going to score Frank an 8 out of 10. I thought that his tactical choices were bold. I think playing with that counter-attacking approach might have caught Man City off guard, because I'm sure they expected to play against Jorginho and Cover and have joy between the lines, but that wasn't the case. We stifled them for large parts of this game. Of course, you can't completely nullify them because they are Man City at the end of the day. However, when that was becoming the case, we were starting to get a bit weaker in that second half. He made the right subs at the right time. Tammy coming on, stretching the game even more, stretching opposition defensive lines, and Kovacic coming on to replace Barkley, helping keep the intensity of the team until the very final minutes. Lampard's proved to me this entire season that he knows how to play against the big teams. Most times he's been let down due to mistakes from his players. However, when it comes to setting the team out in the right way, Lampard has been proven to be right time and time again. But anyway, you guys, that is going to be me for tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys are still excited after the massive win today. And I hope you look forward to more matchday content coming out on Sunday, you guys. So it's going to be a big one. And on that note, I'm going to wrap things up and keep things moving. I'm in the FC. This is Blue Line CV. I'll see you guys later with some more videos.